The hearing issues I have personally began in the early 70s when I was, doing my physical for the Marine Corps. They suspected I had a hearing problem, and I thought it might get me out of the Marine Corps, but it didn't. So it just continued, and of course, nothing ever became of that. It was never an issue for me. It never came up again, and until actually I was in the hotel business for 15 years and was very successful in the hotel business. And I had a friend who was actually in charge of the audiology department at LSU in Baton Rouge, suggested that he thought that I had a hearing problem. And I said, well, yeah, I supposedly did when I was in the Marine Corps. Well, in any event, I went through the treatment process, or the analyzation, whatever they do, with the beeps and all that. And he said that it was probably a genetic issue with me. And when I asked him what I should do about it, he said, well, just get used to doing what you've been doing. So I guess it was kind of minor in his view, but in my view, it was not an issue, because when you have an hearing problem, you hear sounds, so you don't believe you're deaf or whatever. So he suggested that I try hearing aids to see if they would work. He didn't prescribe hearing aids, but he said you could try them. He says they may work, they may not. So I did, and I tried them for probably about 6 or 7 years, but they were, I guess they were antiquated hearing aids, and eventually they got corroded and put aside. I just quit wearing them. And then I would say over the last 15, 20 years, just on a whim, I would stop into hearing aid shops just to see what they had, to see if they had something that might help me with my hearing, not really admitting that I had a hearing problem, although it shows on the charts that they do. And so that had gone on for maybe 15 or 20 years, and it wasn't until probably a year ago, getting to know Lori and Don here at Cook, that Lori was very, very good at explaining to me how the hearing process actually works. How the brain deciphers what you hear and how it translates and all that. And I thought to myself, well, that's interesting, because I never really looked at it like that. And she also pointed out to me that it's not so much an issue for me as it is others. So I thought to myself, after thinking for a while, I thought, it really is selfish of me not to consider the other people, because if you don't understand what they say, you just ignore them. And in fact, I've been accused of being arrogant, but I never considered myself arrogant or stuck up, conceited, or whatever. I just didn't understand what they said, so I ignored them. So anyway, I went through the test with these people here, and she really opened my eyes, and so and I'm very, very excited with the results. So.